So I've been reading this article called "Is Human Evolution Finally Over?" and it's really interesting. It's discussing that perhaps human species and humankind has evolved and peaked biologically. What are your guys' thoughts?
Well, I'm not really a firm believer in evolution, quite honestly. I like to study my word, and it says only 6 days is how long it took God to actually make the earth. And this whole idea or notion that the earth is billions of years old, I'll just stick with 7 to 10,000.
I believe in evolution, but personally, the world is degrading, so I don't know how evolution much is done for that.
Yeah, that's interesting because the article is arguing that the Earth has pretty much reached a state of utopia, and this is about the best it's going to get. And while I wouldn't say that we're really utopian, I'd say that there's quite a bit of things that are positive going on.
Evolution is happening, but I don't know. Humans are becoming less brainy and more neurotic, I think, personally. Like, just look at the national government or the addiction of debt that people have. The national government is like $10 trillion in debt already, and it's like a constant cycle. We bring in money and we send it right back out. So I just feel like the debt has grown so much just through the years that it's insane. And also, like, if you look at New Zealand, it's ranked 9 in the happiest countries out of 158 countries. And with a childhood conduct at 5%, they're 18% attempt percentage of suicides within that.
Yeah, you know, that's crazy because I know I got this little spot here in Romans chapter 1 that kind of talks about how man has kind of turned itself over to its own devices. You know, it says here, for since the creation of the world, his invisible attributes, his eternal power, and his divine nature have been clearly seen, being understood through what has been made, so that they are without excuse. For even though they knew God, they did not honor him as God or give thanks to him, but they became futile in their speculations, and their foolish hearts were darkened. Professing to be wise, they became fools, and exchanged for the glory of the incorruptible God for an image in the form of corruptible man and birds and four-footed animals and crawling creatures. Therefore, God gave them over to their lust of their hearts, to impurity, so that their bodies would be dishonored among them. I mean, we kind of see it all today. There's addiction is crazy, debt's crazy because people are addicted to shopping and getting stuff right now. We're kind of an automatic society, and really, we expect everything in life. So I would say that's definitely going in that direction.
Yeah, I can see where you guys are coming from, but I mean, from a religious standpoint, what about Revelations 20? It says that during the millennium, Satan's pretty much locked up and the world is a peaceful place, and some people think that that's happening now.
Well, I don't know about that.
There's a lot of positive stuff happening in the world. I mean, we've come from microbes to cavemen to astronauts. You've got to say there's some sort of progress there. And also the mortality rates are way down compared to the Victorian era, for example, where over half of children died before adolescence. Now we're at a 98% survival rate. Also, advancements in technology lately have been huge, and they've led to better understanding of genetics and healthcare, and maybe even at some point soon we'll be able to start living longer because of it, maybe 150, 200 years old.
You think 150 to 200 years is a big move? I'm telling you what, in Genesis, there was people living a lot longer than that. For example, Seth, he lived to be 912 years old, and Enosh lived to be 815 years old, and Kenan, he lived to be 840 years old, and in the days of Methuselah, that guy lived to be 969 years old, the oldest man ever to live in the world. So I would say things are getting a lot worse. If we can't live to be 900 now, really, I think it's not getting any better.
Good point, I guess. I mean, 150 years would be a huge improvement from where we are right now. Plus, if we were living that long, people could be producing more children. And let's face it, since our society is based off of intellect, I mean, more successful people would be having more children, and so our population would just get more smart. and just be more successful, have more wealth, I think that'd be a good thing.
I don't know about the whole children piece. Like, when U.S. today, 50% of all marriages are ending in divorces. I mean, you have to look at the child. Like, how would the children benefit from that? I mean, causing health problems, mental issues with the children just because of going through the divorce. And not only that, just with the money gap in society. Like, in 2010 in education, like, the country has spent $22,000 just on education for minors and people. It's just crazy.
Well, I tell you what, for me, wealth is really not that important. I mean, well, it is. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love money, but I will say, it says here, you know, Jesus said, "Truly I say to you, it is hard for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. Again, I say to you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of God." And I think the reason for that is because if you're wealthy, what need do you have for God, really? And quite honestly, for me and my meaning system, I will say that it's more important that maybe I don't have a lot of money for 7 years, so in eternity, things will be right.
Interesting. So what I'm getting from our conversation is that we all kind of agree that the world is changing, and so that kind of contradicts the whole "is evolution finally over," but we kind of disagree on whether that's for better or worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.